I don't like to tell my story. The story of how I became wheelchair bound because of a disease I never asked for. When my childhood dreams were cut short, it hurts to talk about. When I talk about this disease, depression often follows. It brings back memories of how it used to be and how it could be. It makes me think of what I don't have and what I used to have. It's painful, but if it's what it takes for you to finally see your need for God, then it's worth it. When I was born, I was what seemed to be another healthy child. But my mom was soon heartbroken to find out that one day, I would never walk again. What was an ER visit that showed I had mono, which could be cured, also turned out to be a diagnosis for a disease which couldn't. I was only 5 years old when the doctor came and told my mom that I had Duchenne muscular dystrophy. This disease would weaken my body to the point where I would eventually lose the ability to walk. That news broke my mom's heart. She didn't know what to do. She didn't know who to turn to. The doctor already told her it was hopeless. So in desperation, she cried out to God. She didn't know if he was real, but she knew that she needed him. Call it emotion, and a lot of it was. But I also think that it was the voice of God. It didn't take long for the effects of this disease to take over. When I was about 6, I had to wear braces because of contractures in my feet caused by the disease. I hated them. When I was between 7 and 9, I couldn't hide the effects of this disease. I couldn't keep up with my brothers and sisters. I kept shinning my knees on the sidewalk from my legs giving away. I was trying to be normal, like every other kid my age, but I couldn't. And who wanted to hang out with a boy who couldn't keep up? A wheelchair finally bound me when I was 10. I was able to transfer myself short distances, but that soon ended. On the week of a vacation at Disney World, my legs officially gave out. I remember my older brother telling me one night that Jesus would heal me if I asked him. So I did, but nothing happened. I was angry with God and wanted nothing to do with him at that point. I was hurting and tried to numb the pain with video games. But the pain was still there. When I was between 13 and 15, I fell deep into depression. So deep that I was contemplating suicide. I actually almost ended my life once, but by God's grace I didn't. You say by God's grace? It doesn't seem like he's shown much to you. That's what I thought too. But I learned to view life from God's perspective, not that I in any way perfected it. But here's what I learned after more than a decade in a wheelchair. He began opening my eyes when I was about 16. And if anything you learn from this story, this is what I hope you hear. God had a purpose in my weakness. He says, "My grace is sufficient for you." Why? For my strength is made perfect in weakness. God was using my weakness to show how mighty he was. Can healing me show his power? Absolutely. Sometimes God does heal. But in those times when he doesn't, God is showing his strength in weak vessels. Scripture tells us that God chooses the weak, the poor, and those who are esteemed by the world as dumb. Why? Very simple. So that God, the creator of the ends of the earth, gets the glory. Maybe you've been knocked down by your own weakness, and you feel like there's no way out. Maybe you've called out to God to take it away, but he hasn't. Maybe you're depressed and hurting and trying to numb the pain. Let me urge you not to give up on God. If he hasn't taken away your weakness, there's a reason. This may not be easy for you to hear, but if you give your weakness to God, you might find that he will give you the grace to endure it. And not only to endure it, but to grow through it. If you were strong, how much would you rely on God's strength? If you were really smart, how much would you depend on God's wisdom? Why does God allow people to struggle? Maybe to remind us how desperately we need him.